Welcome to the season of becoming. Welcome to August, in which we're going to learn how to ride the wave, which is our life. And in today's video, we're going to understand that just because we're on top right now, doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. And that's a stark realization for a lot of us, especially somebody who's constantly winning, or maybe just won at something, succeeded at whatever it was, whether it was getting a job, whether it was an actual sporting event, or maybe you succeeded at getting that person to like you and date you. That's a big win. You might feel like you're on top of the world because of this win, but don't sit there. Don't rest there. And the reason is, the fall is going to be that much harder when you finally come down. We can celebrate the success. We can celebrate this win, which we should. Especially when you're dating somebody that you've been chasing for a while. Especially when you finally get that dream job you've been, dreaming about. Celebrate it. Enjoy the time that it took to get there. But then come back down to earth. Realize that if you don't bring yourself down, the universe will. It's got an uncanny knack to bring us down to earth, to level the playing field, to balance everything out. So instead of waiting for that to happen, do it yourself. Bring yourself back down to reality and start working on your tasks and goals again. What's the next stage? If you're unsure of what your next stage is going to be, check out my Smash Your Goals video, and that should help you get to the next phase of your life. See, the reason why I wanted to title August as To Ride the Wave is because waves are dangerous, but waves are exhilarating. Have you ever been out on the ocean? Whether it's surfing, boogie boarding, or just going with the flow. When you catch that wave and you ride it for however long it takes you, it's exhilarating. But the scary part is, if you get caught with that undertow, that could be life-threatening. The same thing is with life. If you stay up too high and you're not focused, you're not paying attention, you could come crashing down, and it could be life-threatening. So what I'm saying is we need to be focused. We need to be careful that we don't stay up on cloud nine for so long, that we bring ourselves back down to reality. Like I was saying before, celebrate the success, celebrate the win. What I do is I take 24 hours to do that. Whatever win I have, whether it's a sporting event, whether it is getting a job, whether it's beating my wife at something, I take 24 hours to revel in it, sometimes a little bit shorter. But it allows me to get that out of my system. It allows me to enjoy the progress, the journey that I had to go through to get here. Because we all know, I think by now we all know, that it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. The journey is the sweetest part. Once you accomplish what you accomplish, most of people stand around looking around saying, well, what next? What now? What do I do? So that's why you want to just celebrate for 24 hours and then get back to work again. Whether it is moving up in your job. That's why I believe 24 hours is a great time frame to get it out of your system and then move on. Move on to the next stage, the next task, the next goal that we want to accomplish. See, the beauty about life, the beauty about the universe is it does humble you. And life is literally littered with examples of people who have made it big, who have won, who have succeeded, and then come crashing down. A couple that come to mind are, big one is lottery winners. You win that big mega millions or billions of dollars that we just had. But then what? You got the high of that. You have all this money. You can spend it all you want. But then what? What's your goal? What's next? Come back down to reality. You're going to live a lot happier being down on this plane than up in the clouds. So we have lottery winners. We have sports teams. Every season, there's one team that wins it all. Doesn't matter what sport you like. There's always one team that is at the pinnacle of that season. The next season rolls around, and it's on everybody's tongues. What are they going to do? Are they going to repeat, or are they going to fall flat on their face? Can they continue their successes, or are they going to flounder? There are a good amount of times where people do come crashing down, where the sport teams do come crashing down. They didn't come back down to reality. They rested on their laurels. They celebrated too long. They thought that where they were was it. Nobody could overtake them. Nobody could beat them. Such is not the case. The universe, like I said, will humble you in a stark reality. And then we have celebrities. Two of my probably favorite celebrities out there, Johnny Depp and Nicolas Cage, are two that have made it big and then came crashing down. A lot of celebrities overspending. A lot of sports athletes overspending. They reach their idea of the pinnacle of their life. They don't know how to sustain themselves. They've overstepped their boundaries. They didn't come back. They didn't bring themselves back down to reality. They didn't look forward to the next goal or task. They thought where they were was it. They were untouchable. And let me tell you, nobody's untouchable. So don't rest on your laurels. Don't sit there and think that this is the best it's going to be. It can't get any better. It will always get better. It'll always get worse. So instead of having somebody else, the universe, whoever, bring you back down to reality with a thud, do it yourself. Bring yourself back down. Ride that wave back down comfortably so that you can move on your life in a smooth pattern. Understand that even though you're on top now, it's not always going to be that way. But it doesn't mean you need to come crashing down. You can do a gradual descent and still be happy with your life. Still be happy with what you have, not being on the top, but being competitive. As long as you continue to be balanced. There will always be a balance in life. There will always be a yin and a yang, a positive and a negative. If you can balance those energies out, it doesn't matter if you're on the top or if you're on the low, you know where you're going to eventually end up. And that's what we're trying to do here. And one way I like to do that is by preparation and planning. I know it's not sexy. I know sitting on the table with sheets sprung around, or you have your laptop open and you've got 30 different Excel spreadsheets, or however you plan, however you prepare. It's not the sexiest thing, but that's the work that needs to get done. That's how you know that you're not just hitting this goal, this task, and you're done. You're building into something more monumental. You're creating a better future for yourself. So if you just landed your dream job, I know that's not going to be the end for you. Whether you're 20 years old or 80 years old, it doesn't matter. It's not the end for you. So continue on, move forward, prepare and plan. Figure out where this step is taking you, where this high took you, and then schedule out, plan out, prepare out for days, weeks, months, maybe even years on how your life is going to unfold and what you want in your life. You need to be able to see it happen before it actually does happen. If you can see it, you can achieve it. And that's the great part about our mind, is we can make it do whatever we want it to do. We just need to have control over it. So when your mind is wandering, you can't get control of it. You can't focus. I've said in many videos before, get by yourself. Be silent for a while. Calm your mind. Shuffle through your thoughts. Let them go. Categorize them. Get them out of your head so that you have a clear mind. And you can focus on the task at hand. You can focus on what you want your future to unfold into. Because again, we all know we're not going to be at the highs the whole rest of our life. And if you choose, you're not going to be at the lows either. But if you can be in the middle, if you can be in that neutral state, that happy state, to where whether you go up or down, it doesn't matter, you know where you're going to be, well, then you're living a good life. And if you have planned out and you've prepared your future on what you want in your life, who you want in your life, where you want your life to go, you've done the preparations, you've done the research, you've done the planning, you have it laid out. Whether it's on paper, it's on your laptop, tablet, iPhone, whatever. But you have your roadmap for success. And along the lines, it's going to get bumpy. You're going to get knocked off your path. Multiple times. It's never a straight line. You've seen the memes. You've seen the pictures. Success looks like this. Well, no, it doesn't. It looks like that. All over the place. Some days you don't know if you're coming or going, but it's progress. And if you're prepared for it, if you plan for it, then you're not going to be afraid. You're not going to be scared. You know Even though you might get knocked off the path, you know where your path is. You know where the journey is going to lead you. And then once you get to that final destination, you know where your next journey is going to lead you. You know where to the next destination you're going to be headed into. So don't be afraid if you're on top now and that you think you're going to come crashing down. Start preparing. Start planning. Start organizing your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, what you have in your life. So that when you do start to feel yourself coming down, you do start to see things around you crumble or fall apart, you don't get weary. You don't be afraid. You don't freak out. You don't hold up the white flag and say, I'm not ready for this, I surrender. You keep pressing forward. You keep moving on because you know you did the work necessary to put yourself in the right positioning to keep moving forward and keep succeeding. Whether you fall down or fail, you're still succeeding as long as you're growing and learning. So that's why August, we're learning to ride the wave. And that's why in this video, we're trying to teach you that you're not always going to be up. You're not always going to stay there. You're going to come back down. But if we can ease the descent, if we can make the descent on our terms, then we can adjust our life any which way we want it to go. So in the season of becoming who we truly want to be, riding that wave, preparing for the future, preparing to succeed, to obtain that goal, and then move on forward to the next one. That's how we become who we truly want to be. To get a better perspective, a better idea on what you truly want, who you truly want to be, and how you want your future to unfold, check out these videos. They will help guide you and point you in the right direction. And I'll see you next week.